Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Right here. And here is my new Tera tier list. Um, I haven't thought about it a bunch, but I think it'll be pretty easy because I have a good idea of what classes I think are, the best and worst and all that baloney. So, anyways, let's hop straight to it. We can start with Archer. Archer's S tier. Easy S tier. Archer was like top 3 or 4 DPS in the game before Valk and Sorcerer got nerfed, and then it got buffed when they got nerfed. So yeah, it might be the best DPS in the game, if I'm gonna be honest with you. But it's mad boring, so don't play it. Zerk. Zerk. B. Zerk is B tier. Not very good. Not very bad, not very good. Like, Zerk is probably either the worst or the second worst DPS in the game. But it's a mixture of bugs that they have and yeah, just their damage not being enough, I guess. I mean, they did just get buffed recently and the buffs were pretty big, but it seems like the buffs didn't actually apply properly at all. So the buffs kind of ended up being a little bit of a nerf for their ultimate and a small buff overall. But they're still bugged too. They get like front hits on their back hits for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. Anywho, Brawler, S, best tank. That's it. It's the best damn tank, dude. It hits like harder than most DPS. And I say that kind of exaggerating. I mean, it hits as hard as some of the DPS, and harder than it. I'm pretty sure it out DPS's Zerk. Like Brawler hits stupid hard. It's crazy. And when it comes to like ease of play, it's also like the easiest tank. You don't have to block anything. It auto blocks everything on its own. So really good class. Play it if you're new to the game and you want to play, a tank or just a class that'll kind of carry you on its own. Play Brawler. It's really good. Gunner. Yeah. I'd put Gunner down here. I just don't like Gunners. Like, Gunners are trash. Realistically, they're with Zerk. It's between Zerk and Gunner for the worst DPS in the game. Gunner's problem though isn't so much its damage numbers, it's more that the kit is super clunky and nobody wants to play the class as well because it's clunky, it's boring. So none of the good players play it. So realistically, not really sure how good Gunner can do. But it's definitely not one of the better DPS in the game. Lancer. Lancer might be B2. Lancer's like, it's not as bad as these two, I don't think. But it's not, it might be. Lancer might be B. Lancer's definitely the worst tank in the game right now. For sure the worst tank. It's just weak. Like, its DPS is low, the buffs that it gives to the group don't really matter that much. It's just weak. Like, Brawler DPS is way too high. It makes up for way too much that Lancer just can't provide. I'm gonna put Lancer at B, but I think Lancer is kind of like A minus. Or you know what? Maybe I'll try to put these in order and I'll put Lancer at like the bottom of A. Something like that. Mystic, clearly. Best healer. It's better in slaying and non-slaying runs. It's just the best healer, period. The buffs are way too strong. And by too strong, I mean the buffs are where they should be. And Priest just needs a tiny little bump. It needs either like a tiny little bump in buffs, power, or whatever. We'll talk about Priest in a second. Ninja, I think Ninja's A. Ninja's good. It's not one of the best DPS in the game, but it's, far from the worst as well. Ninja's probably the only actual, like, mid-tier DPS in the game. But realistically, I feel like Ninja could be, like, completely on par with all of the top DPS in the game. But the only thing that holds Ninja back, I think, is the animation locks on its ultimate. And the fact that it doesn't even, or I don't know if it's its ultimate, but it's awakening skills. And the fact that its awakening skills don't even give like damage mitigation or anything like that is pretty trash. So it makes it really unsafe to use, and you can't just use that burn whenever you want to. Priest, I think, is A as well. Priest and slaying runs is B. Maybe C. But priest and regular runs, it's A. Mystic slightly better. Non-slaying buff wise, this is for like pure DPS. The pure DPS wise, priest is a little bit worse than mystic. But when it comes to like utility, like Kaya's and stuff like that, I think priest Kaya's is a little bit better. Reaper. I kind of want to make like S+. I think Archer might be S+. Or maybe not. I think Reaper is S. It's pretty good. There's no real like serious Reaper mains in North America currently that are like super high level. Hard's getting there though. Honorable mention. But yeah, Reaper's real good. Super high burst. The CD on its burst is a little bit long. Is the reason that it's not the best DPS in the game probably. If its cooldown on Shadow Reaping was the same as like DG or something, Reaper would probably be the best DPS in the game, honestly. Slayer, I think it's up here too. It's just good. Slayer DPS is good at all points in the fight. It's very consistent DPS. The burst isn't amazing because what's it called? In Cold Blood, ICB isn't like a super strong buff, but it doesn't really need to be. If ICB was a strong buff, then Slayer would be like way over the top, way too fucking strong. But Slayer is good, consistent DPS throughout an entire fight. It's really good. Zerk just took some big nerfs, man. Big nerfs to its kit, and it's still S. Zerk is really good still. Nice, consistent DPS with a good little bit of burst. It's just good, man. Nothing else to say. Valk, it's just good. Doesn't matter. Nerf it, who cares? It's just good. Warrior, nerf it, buff it, whatever, dude. Warrior's good. It was a little weaker before that 10% buff that it got to its whole kit. It was probably A during that, honestly, which is fine, but they buffed it, and Warrior's up here. I think all of these classes are S. Like legit. I feel like the difference in DPS, like this is a tank and this is a healer, so we'll put them at the end. The difference between all these DPS, except for maybe Archer, but I don't really know because nobody plays Archer. The difference between all these DPS is not like a significant difference. These are all like around the same as long as you're a skilled player. Ninja, maybe a small drop off. I think Ninja could be up there, but we'll see. For now, I think Ninja is a slight drop off, and then I think Zerk and Gunner are like pretty big drop off from the S tier classes and Ninja. But anyways, that's tier list. I think the game's pretty balanced overall. I think you're doing a pretty good job. There's another balance patch that's supposed to be coming out pretty soon here. That's part of why I was taking so long to make a tier list. So whatever, I guess I'll just make another one the day that one comes out too, because fuck it. You guys have a good one. Bye.